Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is the last day of the build, the very last day of the build, not the last day of the episodes, because we're going to do a follow-on, basically a beginning to end of the entire pool project in about 30 minutes or less, using that time-lapse video, using the drone views. I think that should be for one exciting episode, if that is the only episode you watch of our pool built here in the backyard of Villa Feliz. So build day 61, yes, build day 61 on the construction schedule here on the backyard of Villa Feliz. 61, that is the magic number, and I'm sticking to it, 61. Some exciting stuff today. I'm working, as you can see back here, I'm working on some landscaping to try to clean things back up from all that 61 days today of construction. And the guys are finishing up. They're getting ready to do a test of the water we filled overnight. We almost have a full pool, so we're about ready to swim. Well, let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. And we still kind of have a muddy mess here, all this area right here. I'm not going to replace the sod here. I think the sod here will recover with just a little bit of cleanup, and the grass will come through once we start getting a little bit of dryness. Now, what I've asked Obeng to do, Obeng is our expert on everything here, and he's also the expert on doing pool stabilization. This morning he said the water looked really good, the water that we had from the cistern and the water that we dumped overnight with the garden hose from the subdivision, we're looking really good. So what he's going to do, he's going to add, as a matter of fact, I'm going to let him explain what he's going to do. What is this, Obeng?
Chlorine, sir.
Chlorine.
Maybe 1.4 kilo, sir.
Okay.
And you put the pail of water, sir.
So
mix it.
So what you're saying is you don't apply it directly to the pool. You don't drop it in. You do mixing. So you dilute it here first before it goes in the swimming pool. So as we did yesterday, when we added the water to clean the water inside the cistern, he takes a bucket, and it looked like he took about a handful of the bleach you had in there, right? That's it. That's your scientific calculation of how much that we're going to add to this. There'll be testing going on. He asked for the test kit. The test kit is over there, and we'll do a final test to make sure that we're within the safe standards of both chlorine and the pH. And we'll also talk a little bit. I don't know about stabilizing the pH. He'll explain that in just a little bit.
Put around the pool, sir.
Right, well, the next step is going to be to test the water. Now, Obeng has this test kit.
You get the water for the dip, sir.
Okay, so you go deep?
Yeah.
So you don't get it from the top, you go deep. Alright, so you get a better sampling of the water. Alright. Oh, and I failed to tell you something else that Obeng did between the chlorine and our test right here is what he did. He put a half a gallon of muriatic acid inside here. And muriatic acid helps stabilize the algae to make sure that we don't get algae growth. Now, you haven't put anything in there yet, right? And the yellow is
for the chlorine, sir.
And the yellow is for the chlorine. How many drops?
5 drops, sir.
5 drops.
This is a 5 drops, sir.
Is that the red? That's
both.
the red, and the red one is for the pH.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 5 drops, and that's for the pH. And the yellow is for the chlorine.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so we have 5 and 5.
So we will shake this.
You put the cap on, and I imagine you're going to be doing some stirring, some shaking. Okay.
To compare the colors, sir, for the numbers.
And then we'll compare them to the numbers on the side of the container.
Here, sir.
All right, so over here in the shade,
This ideal, sir.
It says ideal?
Yeah.
Well, I was just, because you were looking at it. Okay. So according to Obeng, oh, you have that one.
7.2
Yeah,
or
the
7.6?
the pH looks really good. And the chlorine, it looks a little dark. I think we have maybe a little too much chlorine in there right now, just a little bit. But that's okay, I'd rather have too much because it'll bleed off very soon. And we haven't started the pump yet, and we have to add more water.
Yeah, right.
So the numbers look good so far. Now about the chlorine, I don't mind it being a little dark on there right now, which means it has a higher concentration of the chlorine, because there's a couple extra factors that we haven't even started yet. One, we have to compensate for the amount of evaporation. The sun is going to break down a lot of the chlorine inside the swimming pool. Hence the reason you have to add chlorine. You have to monitor, test, maintain your chlorine level on a regular basis. And the second thing is, we haven't even started running the pump that filters everything all the way through, so we don't know the full concentration level and the mixture inside there until that gets done. And third, we still have to add about 11 more inches of water inside here, so that's going to dilute it down some. All right, well, I need to get back to landscaping and let these guys continue on doing what they need to do to get the final delivery of the pool to us. Well, here it is just after lunch, and I got to show you something right here. Remember that really ugly palm tree trunk table umbrella stand that we had before? Well, I want you to see the evolution, and this is because we have such a really good foreman who has a really good imagination. I want you to look at this. It's starting to look like a real tree trunk, even with little things like all cut off pieces of the limbs that came off of it. This is incredible. Well, I think you can all agree that we're moving in the right direction with this feature inside the swimming pool. Now, we stopped the water going in because we're right up to the top of the ledge right here for the tenon section. We don't want any more water going in here while they're doing the painting. So we have to wait for this to cure before we do a final fill of the swimming pool. But that doesn't mean that we can't start doing things like testing the pumps and everything once everything gets installed. There's still a few things that still have to be done, and I just want to show you over here. You can see this is cleaned up a lot better, and this is just our leftover pieces of our sod that we pulled out and then recovered back and put it right back inside here. And it will take no time at all for all this area to fill in. All the grass will grow back together, and in 30 days, I estimate in 30 days, this will all look nice and clean again. We just will do the rest of it. I'll work with my gardener, and the rest of the way from the service entrance to this point right here, we'll clean that up, as well as once everything is removed from Bahikubo Island, from all the leg traffic and the foot traffic. Up there you can see all that soil is still over there, and that's the soil actually through there at the very beginning of the build. I probably should have waited. Hey sweetie, what do you think about the swimming pool, huh? Anyway, we are still testing, and as you can see, we actually have some of the electronics on, which is the water pump. The water pump is finally working. We don't have the level up yet, the level of the water, because we're waiting for the paint to dry on our newly. I got to show you this. This is incredible. This is a transformation, wouldn't you say? This is a real tree stump. No, not a real tree stump, but something that looks like a real tree stump. They did a great job. They did a great job on this right here. Take a look at this. This is incredible. Well, anyway, you can see I'm not the first one who got to go inside the swimming pool. Where's the little rascal over here? Where is he? I don't know. Oh. He's a fish. Yeah, you guys thought we had a koi pond. We don't have. We have a Stephen koi pond right here. This is the son of our foreman and his wife over here, and he jumped in before I could even get to jump in. So he kind of blessed our swimming pool right here for us. But you can see the waterfall is working, but not without any. Every project usually has some kind of hiccup, and we have a little minor hiccup here. Now, when we tested the waterfall here, we tested the waterfall with a sump pump, the sump pump that we have over here that was providing the water from our cistern. Now, it's very low pressure, and I knew we were going to have more water flow, more pressure from our regular pump, and I was concerned about the corner back here. And let me show you the corner back here. I noticed when our rock guy did it, I kind of said, I think you need another rock over here. Let me see if I can climb the side of the mountain right here. And they stuck a temporary rock over here, right over here. But you can see we're losing water. We're losing water. It's because it's filling up too fast and going over. And that's just a matter of them putting some more mortar here and putting basically this rock, because this is loose right here. This isn't this wasn't there. It was too low. And there was one other thing that had to do with electrical, and it had to do with a miscommunication between me and our pool team here about how to bond. You cannot bond and ground on the same connection, and they didn't understand that. Something that you have to do, remember we went out of the way to bond the ladder over there, bond the pump inside, and all the electrical grid in the entire rebar, or what they call biga over here, for the entire skeleton to a ground rod, a copper rod that's buried 10 feet down in the ground over there. Well, also there's something called grounding. That's bonding. You have grounding, and what grounding is the electrical that comes out of your house, like this wire right here. It has 3 wires, a line, a neutral, and a ground. Well, that's meant to provide power for your electronic devices. The safety feature of the bonding separates you from that, and there was a miscommunication there, and we had to do some rewiring, but we got that taken care of. So that's taken care of, but the little bit of water, you can see we're losing water over here from the top, and that will be fixed as well. Also, what I have our electrician doing, I mounted this morning, I mounted a power supply for our landscape lights, and I mounted a power outlet, a service outlet switch here to power the power supply over there, plus any other utility that I need to use out here as well. And he's working on that right now. Now already this morning, 3 things have been added to the swimming pool. We did the chlorine, as you saw. Then we cleaned it out a bit earlier this morning with just a partial container full of the muriatic acid. That's already neutralized and stabilized inside here. And we also did the DE, which is the powder that goes inside the filter, inside the filter in the pump house over there. And what that does, that keeps the water crystal clear and keeps nice and clean. So all of those were done this morning. The only thing we have to do, again, is wait for this to get finished right here, top off the water right here, and our electrician finish on the back, and we're pretty much done. Right now, the plan is the electrician is still finishing up on that little electrical connection I asked him to do on the back of the waterfall. When he gets done with that, we have a big surprise for our guests. And our guests are not our workers. In just a few minutes, our workers are our guests. And we have a big spread. We got a big spread for them down here. Now this is an appreciation dinner. This is an appreciation dinner for all the hard work this wonderful, wonderful team has done over the past 61 days. Through typhoon, through rain, nothing stops these guys. I think we had one day off, when there was no electricity, no water, no anything. That kind of stopped them a little bit. Anyway, this dinner here tonight is a gift from one of you. A PayPal payment showed up in my email one day, and he said, go ahead and make it at the very end and do a good meal for these guys for all the hard work. Anyway, this was donated here by John Elliker. John Elliker said, make sure that these guys have a good one. He's also looking for property to move. He actually is looking for properties right here in our subdivision as well. So anyway, to you, John, I just want, from the rest of us, we want to thank you. So thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
And I also have to recognize the folks over here. Anyway, and a man named Tom is definitely going to recognize this young lady right here. And she just flew over here all the way from the United States, just arrived here. She has a home in our subdivision as well. And we welcome her here. She's waiting on her Osawa Tom to come. Anyway, anyway, this is Ruby. This is Ruby and Julia. And what's the relationship? Denise, oh, that's it. Oh, I met you before. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Anyway, well, Thomas is going to be glad to see that she joined us here and enjoying the feast with everybody here.
Thanks for inviting us.
Welcome.
It was really nice to meet you.
Well, what do you think? Even though we're one stone away from being done, we're only one stone away from being done. And I am so happy. That's the end of the day, and we're entertaining our workers now as our guests, and they are friends. They are very kind people. We are going to do a wrap up tomorrow. I didn't do a drone overview today because we had so much going on, and we have our guests here now doing the dinner here as well. Tomorrow we will do a full wrap up. We'll have all the water in the pool because we're waiting for that neat area over there that they just did today, the little stump that really looked, I don't think I showed you the very end with the little designs inside. Or maybe I did. I don't think I did. Well, we'll do a full overview tomorrow, and then maybe the next day what we'll do is we will do a compilation video that shows the whole build of the pool in the back of Villa Feliz in 30 minutes or less, 61 days. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for hanging in these 61 days. It has been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun at the same time. Now, I haven't gotten into that feast with those guys down there. It's time to eat. I'm hungry. It's time to go eat. Well, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share. If you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and notified the next time I upload a new video, which may be tomorrow. So anyway, from right here in the Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day.
Tagay! Celebrating!
Maganda to pag maraming tao. Kami lang dalawa.
Dumating ka agad mo. Makalik ka nulit ha.
If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.